Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Pete and Jeremy's DnDTime. This is Adventure 1 this evening, an adventure I have entitled, and I gotta look at this when I read the whole thing, Tedrelathir and the Kitchenette of Chaos. But before we dive into the adventure, I want to take a quick moment to first thank everyone for their incredible generosity in the chat. We got a hype train a-rollin'. Thank you, both Dear Forgotten One for subscribing, Reflected Today for giving out a gift sub. Thank you so much, my friend. And Maddie, I'm looking at you there, Zewxip, for also giving out a gift sub. Oh, and Hypnotic Gamer. Oh my goodness, thank you, everybody. This is very generous of you all. But it is time that I dive into the adventure itself. First and foremost, our heroes this evening, we have Zewxip, well, I guess, Zewxip, your title is not the Blossomer Florin, but you are a Blossomer Florin, or you am a Blossomer Florin?
I am a Blossomer Florin, yes.
Now, Zewxip, how are you doing? I mean, I know it's been there have been some pretty substantial changes to your life since having become a mythic hero, now that literally everyone knows your name.
Life has been interesting. Been learning the ropes aboard my ship. And of course, there was a certain package that I'd found outside the captain's quarters, it was looking very nice, very well made. And I haven't gotten a chance to play with it yet, but the instruction manual seemed pretty clear.
Mm-hmm. Now, if I remember correctly, that was something you ordered from Bartholomew some time ago.
Yes, though I'm a little confused because it is Bartholomew's choice, though I'm the one who chose it. But maybe that's just something of the lens of DnDTime I'm not understanding.
Yeah, well, maybe Bartholomew's choice is your choice, right?
Well, if he's on my team, then that's wonderful.
Absolutely. So, Zewxip, has the ship been performing to your standards? Has it been working out?
So far, yes, though it really a ship needs all seasons to sail in. And frankly, I've had enough of the cold, so I've gone further south down along the Crimson Coast. Maybe this coming winter we'll give it a try, but I've needed to expand, explore, and to soak up some sun, while also perhaps, I understand that there's someone from my homeland that's been after me, and the others.
Yeah. I was going to mention that.
I'll have to investigate this. I guess ironic because I'm the one also being investigated.
You know what? It's a little bit of, I don't know what's a little bit of, but I hope that everything works out well for you, Zewxip.
I suppose time will tell. But if we have a job to do, then let's focus on that, and I will put all that I am into that.
Excellent. Welcome back, of course, Zewxip. Our next hero, I mean, they don't really need an introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. Michael Verity, the king of order. Michael, how are you?
Hello, I am doing wonderful today.
Now, Michael, how have things been back within your kingdom? As good as ever?
Yes, as good as ever. Of course. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. I'll jinx myself.
Well, what have you been doing then? If things are peaceful and simple and relaxing in your kingdom, what have you been up to?
Oh, positive government things like infrastructure work.
Oh, you've just been building.
Yeah, I've been building to. I mean, it's growing. I mean, the kingdom is growing after all. So.
I imagine there's a lot of like, what do you put it, like, just other stuff you have to do, right? As a king, it's not all just battling off monsters and defending borders. There's a lot of just administrative and
literally half of it. The other half is literally being at home doing, kingly work.
Well, so is this like a little vacation for you, almost coming out on one of these adventures?
I wouldn't say that. It's more like, how do I put this? I do this when I originally joined Bartholomew's. I never expected to get as far as I did, but now when I do this, I do this to set an example for my people at how much I do for them. Does that make sense?
No, of course. I mean, this way your people have something to look up to, and I think that this is going to be a really great adventure for that kind of thing, because it's going to be pretty humbling. It's going to be a great opportunity for you to say that even as the king of order, you're not above anything. But you know what, Michael? I welcome you back. I'm sure you're going to love this. I hope you're going to like this adventure. We will see very soon.
Thank you.
Our next hero is Sotaria Avenia, and excuse me if I get this one wrong. Sotaria Avenia, the unholy Empress of... Oh my goodness, I've already lost it. I'm so sorry, Sotaria.
Well, you lost her too. She's in the other room.
Oh no! Sotaria, I get another shot. Welcome, Sotaria.
Thank you.
The unholy Empress of manipulation and smarter to all cheap, overconfident, and harebrained wizards named Bartholomew. Welcome.
I'm here. Thank you very much.
Now, Sotaria, you're pretty famous throughout the lands at this point. People know who you are.
Yeah, it's making it hard for business.
Oh yeah, that's fair. I guess that makes a lot of sense, huh? How have you been adapting to that? I mean, being a rogue of sorts, a thief maybe. With those kinds of things, what have you been doing?
It's become more challenging, which I like, but at the same time, it's kind of annoying. But then again, for some odd reason, I've been getting invited to a lot more parties lately, and I don't know. I guess the stupidity of people for wanting to be around someone who's famous.
You're getting a lot of folks that are just kind of really just almost being a little bit too.
Yeah. Almost a little. Yes, it gets a little too. Then again, it makes it a lot easier for a certain little darkling to pick their pocket. But.
So yeah, I know. Have you been teaching your little Fey servant to help you out, to like go and pilfer?
Oh, he's already been doing that.
Oh, this has been happening for a while now. See, because I know, I know that you've had him, and he comes up every so often. But I feel like I don't hear a lot of, which I guess makes a lot of sense if he's a thief, huh? I really shouldn't be hearing a lot about him.
No, you shouldn't.
No, I guess it makes sense now. Sotaria, how goes the flying sky mountain thing that you have? What do you call it? What is the correct term?
The fortress.
The fortress. How goes the mountain fortress?
Oh, it's fine. I'm not complaining. I've now officially started to move, fly it about, and I'm slightly starting. And I'm every so often, maybe about every maybe about once a month for a week, I keep it under, let it stay over the land of Ag, and make a certain person a little unhappy. But all fun and games. There's nothing really going on.
I feel like you're intimidating the dwarves who live in Ag, but maybe this is a bigger conversation for another time.
We're not having that conversation. Like I said,
even better.
If I told you everything I did, I'll have to kill you.
Well, I don't want you to kill me, Sotaria. That would be really bad for me, like for my physical health. So I'm willing to let this one slide for now. And I hope you have a great adventure this evening. I'm sure it's going to be fine. Everything will be great.
It better be.
And last but certainly not least is the one and only Sword Coheir. Sword, how are you?
Yeah, I can't complain.
Now, Sword, I haven't asked you about this, but you are Sword Coheir. That's because Sword is your name, and Coheir is also your name, correct?
Yes.
How do you feel about there now being other swords in the land of DnDTime? Because Fox Sakes is the sword that cut the heavens, right? And then there's another newer adventurer who is the first sword, but you're the first sword.
This sounds like that whole thing with the what was it? What'd you call them? The Pokemon?
The pocket creatures?
Yes, it sounds like the pocket creature conundrum I heard about. It's like I hear there was this one that was the being all pocket creatures evolved from. Then there was like the first one ever discovered, and then there's like the god of the pocket creatures so it's like all first.
Yeah, right. So it's like which one came first, right? Is it the god of the pocket creatures, or was it the first pocket creature?
Exactly, or the first one in the ever discovered. So it's one of those big things.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just the way you look at it, really. Well, I guess that makes a lot of sense. I totally understand that, Sword. Now, I have to ask. Last time you were here and you were adventuring in the lands of DnDTime, you found some incredibly potent uses for your alchemy, which you've been working on for a very long time. Is this, besides like what happened? Do you feel like this is a crowning achievement for you?
Wait, that was real?
Oh, maybe we'll talk about
that. I thought that was a bad dream with whole meat blimp thing.
Oh no. Well, Sword, maybe it was just a bad dream. Who knows? Speaking of bad dreams, I think you might be in for one today. With this wonderful adventure. And welcome back, Sword. As always, it is absolutely lovely to have you. And so, our adventure begins. You all have been sent to a forest. It's the Sarathiel Forest. It is an elven forest down, not quite at the Wilderwold, but a little south in the Small Kingdoms. And as you've headed out there, you were told to kind of something that really didn't make a lot of sense to most of you. You were given some very strange directions. And Sotaria, I have a question for you, because you are a true wood elf, but how much of your life was really spent in the woodlands?
The first half.
Yeah, so I think your directions really brought you back, right, to your early life, to your probably childhood days, as they were spoken to you in Elvish, and they were directions based on like types of things you would see in the forest, right? Like, take a, turn north where the ancient stone grows dense with moss or something like that. It's like old kind of like elven proverbs and things that to everyone else it's just kind of like, is this like druid stuff? But you got it a little bit. And so you've been leading these adventurers, the rest of your party, through the forest. It is a very, very peaceful, tranquil forest so far as you've seen. There is a small kind of creek almost that runs through it. Lots of birds up in the trees, but it almost has an air of magic and whimsy to it. And Sotaria, it's at this point that you're getting close to your destination. You're told that you're supposed to meet an elf out there by the name of Tedrelathir. So is there anything that you would do as you're kind of getting close? Do you want to turn and say something to your companions or anything? Or do you want to just keep marching forward quietly?
I'm gonna keep marching forward, but they barely hear me whispering underneath my breath, please don't let it be a high elf, please don't let it be a high elf, please don't let it be a high elf. I really don't want to deal with a pompous windbag, please don't let it be a high elf.
Mm-hmm. And what about the rest of you? As Sotaria has been leading this way through the forest, have you all kind of just been quietly following along, or has there been some idle banter between the lot of you?
I've been observing the local plant life, and if we are approaching our final destination, Zewxip would tell the others, please, I welcome you all to grab my warm buns. And I'm going to open up the helpful handbasket and allow them each to take a bun and have the aid spell cast.
I was going to say, I took that a very wrong way. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Michael is very red in the face.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I took that completely the wrong way, but I will gladly take one.
It is a delicious, I imagine, would it be appropriate, Zewxip, to say that it is flaky and buttery in the best way?
Very much so. It just, you just can't help but savor the taste.
What's great is being magically conjured is 100% vegan, but unrelated. Yeah, you all have some delicious, delicious biscuits. Anything else you'd like to do? You can see that there's like a deer kind of maybe 50 feet off in the forest eating some leaves. Seems totally unbothered by your presence.
There's nothing else that Zewxip needs to do except just exist and observe and appreciate one more day of life.
Okay.
So what's this about the high elves?
I don't want to deal with one. I don't know. When I was younger, they used to come around, look down on us little wood elves, and basically think that they're high and mighty and they're a bunch of pompous windbags, at least most of the ones that I dealt with. I don't want to afford one right now.
And as Sotaria, as you turn, you say that, and it's right immediately as you're turning around and saying this to Sword and the rest of your companions who've been following you. It's the rest of you can see behind Sotaria, an elf just kind of, and you can see that they are very pale of skin, very well kept and proper looking. They've got longer, very pointy ears, stereotypical of a high elf. Kind of walk out from behind some like a shrub, like as if they heard you coming and to greet you, and they have like a hand raised to like wave, and then Sotaria says that, and you just see them kind of deflate a little bit. Oh, hello.
Greetings.
Greetings, adventurers. I am Tedrelathir. Oh, my humblest greetings, my lady. And he kind of like goes into a deep bow before you, Sotaria, as you turn around. My humblest greetings, oh, she of the mountain that flies, unholy Empress of manipulation, and smart to all cheap and overconfident wizards, named Bartholomew. It is an honor to be graced by your presence.
Sorry to interrupt, but we lost Sotaria again.
Oh, drat. Well, Discord ruined my thing. Welcome back, Sotaria. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Discord is not liking me.
Apparently not. The elf bows before you, greeting you humbly, Sotaria, seemingly having heard of you and being impressed by your presence. It seems you're looking at them. They're very young for an elf. I mean, elves live a very long time. This guy's probably in his late or probably early 60s, which is young for most elves.
Okay, I apologize. Maybe you're not one of the pompous windbags.
He kind of stands up. Oh, no. And greetings to the rest of you adventurers. I have heard much good of your exploits. I have called upon you seeking your aid in my most trying of times.
And what seems to be the problem?
He kind of looks down, a little anxious, a little sheepishly. Well, I am having trouble with my glade.
With what now?
My glade. Some time ago, some months, I moved out from my parents' grove to find a place of my own here within the forest. And it has been more challenging than I had originally anticipated.
Challenging in what way?
Well, congratulations on making the move. Perhaps there's something that we can do. I myself am a little bit of an expert when it comes to glades, groves, and plat.
Yes, perhaps I can show you. I am very confused as to how things have become what they are. Please, follow me. He kind of bows a little bit, and as he kind of goes to walk away, his elven kind of, his very blonde, almost platinum blonde, long elven hair kind of flows in the hardly existent breeze around him. Very, very graceful. But yeah, he starts leading you down the path a little bit, actually a little off the path. You can see there's something of a foot trail that's being formed, but do you all just follow him?
I'm following.
Okay. Yeah, so you all start following Tedrelathir down this little footpath, and after not too long, just a minute of walking, you see up ahead, right, it opens into something of a clearing, but he stops, and he says, yes, well, this is my problem. And he kind of steps aside and gestures. And you can see it's a fairly small clearing. Like, if you were to judge the size of this clearing in human terms, this is a studio apartment of clearings that this elf lives in. You see that there's one very kind of somewhat sizable clearing, maybe like 700 square feet, that's right in front of you. And you can see that there's some furniture in here, like there's a couch that seems to be crafted of wood and vines that have almost grown into the shape. There's a little pool of water in front of the couch in a kind of stone circle. But beyond that, you see that it is just covered in filth. There's just piles of laundry. There are empty, like, cans of from beverages that are just all over the floor. The place is an absolute dump. It looks like he has not cleaned it since he moved in. And he kind of gestures beyond. Yes. It is the next room that concerns me the greatest.
Has the Trash King been around here?
No. You see, I have never had to fend for myself before. I did not realize it would become so grotesque. I assumed things would just go away, as they always had.
Yes, well, a good lesson learned. I believe that Sotaria had the right of it. With the amount of junk here, you could negotiate some sort of economic trade pact between your grove and the entire Trash Kingdom.
We are some distance from that kingdom of filth. Also, I have no wish to go there. If you wish, you may take the filth and bring it with you. But for now, I simply need to regain my bearings upon my glade so that I can begin anew.
Okay.
So
the kitchen's an absolute disaster. I need help.
Okay. So question, this elf is a wood elf, right?
No, they appear to be a high elf. Appear to be a high elf.
Okay, just making sure I didn't get that part. But, yeah. Okay, let's see this kitchen. It can't be that bad, can it?
I love the defensive no right there, Sotaria. Very good. Yep. Just, yes, of course, Master Verity. You can bring order to this place. Please, come with me. And he goes to, like, guide you. And you can see, like, there's just crap everywhere, right? There's old newspapers, there's like magazines on the floor, piles and piles of dirty laundry. It is an absolute disaster. But this elf kind of is carefully picking where they step to avoid standing on anything as they kind of almost tiptoe through what would be the den of this small apartment toward what you see is, this clearing, rather, toward what appears to be another slightly smaller clearing off to the back, or much smaller clearing. Now, how are you all kind of going through here? Are you all trying to be careful not to step on any of the junk that's lying around on the floor, or are you just kind of don't care, just kind of trample over whatever?
Me and Sarge are gonna be careful.
Okay.
I put on my witch getup, but I'm floating over this mess. And not to also mention, are you sure you're the only one that lives here?
Yes. It has been several months since I moved. He says as he's kind of like being real careful to walk through the place. Sotaria, you're floating a few feet off the ground on your small broom, your witch's broom from your Halloween costume. And Sword, are you just trouncing through, or are you trying to be careful like Michael? And the same question goes to you, Zewxip.
I'm shuffling through so that my feet are in contact with the ground.
Okay. And sorry, go ahead, Sword. Oh. Okay, go ahead. Oh, no.
Back.
Sword, it looks like we're losing you, bud.
I think that was.
It looks like
It looks like the Lord Discord is, and now he's back.
Welcome back, Sword.
And bye.
Can you hear us? Oh, and we lost Sotaria now. Oh my goodness. Man, Discord's being rough tonight, folks. All right, well, we know Sotaria is trying to be careful and picking her way through. Zewxip, you're just shuffling.
Yeah, I'm going to shuffle so that my feet are in contact with the grass and soil.
Okay.
I will ask our NPC guide here, Tedrelathir?
Yes, he's told you his name is Tedrelathir.
Tedrelathir. Tedrelathir, given the state of things, have you actually ever used your kitchen to cook something?
Yes, I did very much in the first week or so of being here. You will see why I quickly abandoned that proposition.
Oh.
And so, Zewxip, since you're just shuffling through all the filth, I need you to roll me a Constitution saving throw. And I need everyone who's trying to be careful, except for Sotaria, who's just flying over it, to roll me an acrobatics check to tiptoe through it. Okay. With a 13, it's gross. That's all. It's just, you're just shuffling through and it's just, It's like you shuffle through like a puddle of something and it's just, oh God. That was just like hidden under a t-shirt.
I feel horribly.
Oh no! Can Sarge also roll me acrobatics?
Oh yeah, Sarge is better luck than I do on this.
That's because Sarge is very acrobatic. Well, I guess he's kind of acrobatic.
Yes, yeah. Actually, yeah. He's
very good at saving throws. It's just dexterity.
Just dexterity, got it.
Yep, Sarge has no problem tiptoeing through. But yeah, Michael, you slip on like a sock and you just fall into a heap of dirty laundry, and it's just like, it's just gross. That's
disgusting. All. That's all I can say to that. Disgusting.
Yeah, it's just gross.
Yeah, how do I?
You're definitely a little better, Sword. We can kind of hear you.
Okay, what I was saying earlier was, knowing what was going to go on, I stepped right back out, pulled out my alchemy instruments, and just started making regents to clean.
Oh, excellent! So what you're trying to do is you're trying to just sanitize a path for you. I dig it. Roll me an alchemy tools check using probably like wisdom, I guess, right? Because I think that makes sense here. Or intelligence, your choice.
Wisdom.
Yep, so it's just proficient wisdom or proficient intelligence check. Your pick. Excellent. So you just step out and you like mix some stuff together and you fashion like a really crude spray bottle and just you're just spraying stuff and it's it's kind of cleaning it, kind of maybe melting some of it, but at least it's better than it was before as you make your way through perfectly fine after everyone else.
Germs and bacteria. You can hear like the screaming as I spray.
You hear from the little bacteria.
Michael might need some of that.
You see Michael is just covered in...
I will agree with Sotaria on that.
And Michael,
I have a bucket. I have a barrel of it brewing outside. Bathe your...
Yeah, Sarge comes over with a little barrel and just splashes some of it on you, Michael, and it burns, but then you feel very clean after.
Thanks, Sarge. Is it hurt? It kind of hurts a little bit, but I'm fine.
Yep. You all make it across the den and eventually arrive at there's like a small wall of like it's actually a dense wall of thorns and shrub and stuff that separates this small kitchenette area of the studio. And yeah, you can see inside of it. There's also another exit leading out, and from that other exit, it smells really bad. It's just there's this awful rank smell of decay.
So, what is this house made out of, by the way?
It's not a house so much as a clearing, right? It's a clearing with like natural kind of vines and shrubs that form all the walls.
I see.
Yeah, it doesn't have a roof so much as it has the trees that form a canopy overhead.
I see.
It's a very, very...
it's all grown and entangled in each other.
It's very natural. But as you look into the little kitchenette area, you can see that there's some more, I guess, modern-looking things, right? There are some cabinets, like wooden cabinets, that clearly were made and brought here and put in here. There is a campfire area in the back corner with, it looks like a skewer that would go over it to rotate and cook something. There's all of that. But beyond that, there is just heaps and heaps of stuff, right? Atop all of the countertops, there are just plates and just dirty cutting boards and all sorts of awful, awful kind of odors that are kind of just wafting toward you as you stand at the opening to this kitchen. And yeah, towering piles of silverware and plates and all sorts of cooking utensils. And you see the flies buzzing just everywhere here.
Sarge is very happy that he can stick from this.
Yeah, right.
Sweetie, get a bit of curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
When you were at home, did you clean your room by yourself?
Well, you see, that's what confused me. I have spent many years at home, and everything there was always taken care for me. And I just kind of assumed that it was an enchantment or something, and that when I moved in here, it would have a similar enchantment.
No, that's just called being pampered.
I understand this now.
Okay,
however, the harm is already done.
Yes, so what do you want us to do?
Well,
exactly.
I was hoping you could fix it. He kind of looks into just this disaster of a room.
Well, it is disorderly, and I am the king of order, so I guess it is my duty.
I believe that this is not beyond repair.
Yes.
Nature finds a way. This is... it may take some extreme measures. Are you willing to sacrifice perhaps some things that are accoutrements of your apartment?
What do you mean? I rent, so you can't destroy the cabinets.
Well, some things might get wet or moved, or we might discover that they're irreparable or just plain stinky.
Please do try to save what you can. I don't really know how to handle these situations.
Well, where do you put your garbage, then? We need a place to deposit the filth.
It's over there. And he kind of points, and you just see there's a heap of stuff. You don't see, like, a bin, but it's probably buried underneath there. It was strange. I figured it would self-empty.
Very well. Everyone, I'm gonna go dig a pit outside the grove. I will return after several minutes, and we'll have a hole to...
Wait, Zewxip, I have a better idea.
I was about to say I have a better idea too, but I don't know if you're thinking the same idea. You're probably not thinking the same thing I am.
I was thinking of something Zewxip.
I'm going to dig a pit, and we're going to put garbage in it.
No, Zewxip, hear me out. You'll like this because you yourself are a plant. What if we take some of this and use it to make a compost pile?
I think that's more or less Zewxip's plan.
That is true.
Or am I mistaken?
I mean...
It will return to the earth, yes.
But...
Anyway, I need to get out of here. The air is starting to burn away at my skin. And you can see that, like, he's starting to get a little bit of a rash on his face. I will be waiting outside. And you see him carefully pick his way back across the den.
Yep.
So, we still have that barrel of disinfecting stuff.
You see a rat skitter by.
All I have to say about it is new.
Yep, it's still brewing outside.
But okay. So I'm going to have to borrow that because I'm going to use that to clean the plates and the silverware in the kitchen.
You might want to put on gloves.
I said we can make this a whole lot easier, but Zewxip might get mad at me.
Well, Zewxip's outside digging a hole, so...
If your idea is to destroy it all, I can understand why Zewxip would hate that.
Yeah, Zewxip is already digging a hole outside. Zewxip, do you have any, like...
Exactly. I'm saying we torched the whole entire place.
I'm not against this idea.
I am completely against this idea because you're burning someone else's house, pretty much. It's not a house, but it's still a home.
He'll live.
Yeah, I'm going to. So me and Sarge are going to take.
Let's just get let's get a shovel or something and just start throwing it outside in the hole, and we'll burn it.
Well, what me and Sarge are going to do is take the nice silverware and plates that are salvageable and clean them with what
Oh my god!
brewed.
How big of a hole are you digging, Maddie? Or sorry, Zewxip.
It ain't big enough.
I mean, I'm going to use mold earth for a couple minutes to make a pretty big, pretty wide pit to scoop all the garbage in.
It's an action to dig a 5 foot, a 5 foot cube. You can just in the time that conversation has, you've excavated like a huge crater.
That's fine. We need to make sure it's buried deep.
Excellent. Okay, so outside...
because I do have an idea of how I'm going to get rid.
As you all kind of gather by the front of the house to look at the, basically to get swords, alchemical concoction that they've been crafting. You see on one side of the little footpath that leads to this little glade, right, there's a big barrel of caustic bubbling stuff. And then directly on the other side, there's like a 20 foot across, 20 foot deep just pit.
Can we put him in it?
I wouldn't like that. I'm also right here. Apologies.
I
An incredibly
see.
deep pit you've dug there.
Yes, well, you'll have a very rich source of nutrition for the seeds that you're going to plant so that you grow your own food, harvest it, and prepare it in your kitchen, and then recycle your scrap.
Doesn't food just grow on its own?
Well,
It can, although I believe you and I need to sit down and have a little talk.
That comes later. We clean now.
Yes, thank you.
Clean now, teach him later.
After digging the pit, I'm going to approach the others. Have you cleared anything that would be valuable? Dishes, things like that? Is there only really just garbage laying around?
Me and Sarge are working on the dishes and the silverware. We're going to clean those.
I took a look at some of the clothes and stuff laying in the floor. It's most of it's not solid.
Well,
If
keep in mind,
you can spend your energy to recover the
kitchen.
precious things, allow the mass removal to me, please.
Your
By all
job was to
means,
clean.
have at it.
Yeah, remember, your job was to clean the kitchen. So, alrighty. So as you guys kind of go back in, you've gotten some of that concoction that Sword had created, and Michael and Sarge, you two want to clean dishes. You want to just go over to what you can now tell is some kind of a wash basin, and you want to start trying to clean the dishes.
Yep, we're going to clean the dishes and silverware that are salvageable.
Okay. Sword, what would you like to be doing?
I guess I'll start cleaning off the counters or whatever else is
So you're just going to start getting the garbage off the counters, is what I'm hearing.
yeah, just throw it in the trash pile off to the side.
Okay. Sotaria?
I'm helping with the dishes, or more like I'm helping pocket dishes.
You're just like, oh, this one has gold inlay, because like these are really nice high elven dishes. So, excellent. So you're just slipping them into like a little messenger bag or something you've got, just kind of for the occasion.
Exactly.
Excellent. And Zewxip, you've dug your hole. Is there anything you'd like to help with inside, or do you have more to do outside?
I've finished outside. I do have a contribution inside, but I'm going to need everyone out of the kitchen, at least for a minute, and to make sure that any valuables are removed from the kitchen. As I'm gonna give everyone a good jump on cleaning.
Okay. Well, right now that's exactly what they're doing. Is they're clearing out the valuables. So you're just kind of waiting for that.
Yeah. So I'll be on hold, and I'll go over very basic. This is how plants work. I mean, I'll talk about the the birds and the bees of a kind with our high elf independent liver.
Yeah, and as Zewxip, is you're kind of like at the front door talking to him about like, oh, so I have to nurture them for them to grow. Interesting. Right, he just doesn't understand these things. The rest of you are inside, and at first you think, oh, it's an accident, right? Like a plate at the tip top of this huge stack falls and shatters, right? But then another one does, and like you were not touching that, Michael. Neither was Sarge. And then another one comes down, but it goes directly for you.
Wait, what?
It just flies down directly at you, Michael. And it rolls.
Can I catch it?
A 14 to hit.
It's a stack of plates. I don't think we could catch them.
Oh, no, it's not a stack. It's a singular plate.
Even then, that misses.
It rockets down.
Like a frisbee or a...
Yeah, well, and then it like catches itself before it hits the ground and shatters and is floating in the air. And I'd like everyone to roll me initiative. Oh my gosh. Oh, the dinner plate. Okay. And I gotta roll for these guys too, but you don't need to see them, so I'm gonna roll them to just me. That's okay. All right. First to go, Zewxip. You hear a crash of plates outside, and you hear Michael Verity. Wait a minute. Do you do anything? Or do you just stay out there continuing to talk for now?
If it's a wait a minute, I mean, I'm not hearing screams or ouches.
I think you can tell something's up.
Oh, okay. So it's a concerned. It's not just a what? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a wait a minute, something's not right here kind of thing.
All right, then I'm going to re-enter the grove, and
it's a glade, but that's okay.
Or I'm
kidding. Go ahead.
I am going to see the floating plate and ask everyone get out of the kitchen. Actually, how big is this kitchenette?
It's fairly small. It's maybe like 15 feet, 20 feet long by 10 feet wide, which is like, but then it's got all the stuff in it, which makes it very condensed.
Yeah. All right. When my allies are out of the kitchenette, I would like to cast the cleaning spell that I was going to use in there in order to both clean and evacuate anything that could be causing trouble.
So you're readying and casting this spell?
Yeah, I'm readying a spell for when I don't have allies in the kitchenette.
Okay, what's your passive perception?
Passive is 14.
Okay. Let's see if you see these guys. They have... Okay, cool. All right, next in the initiative order, we jump to Michael Verity.
Can I even remotely see what even threw the plate at me, or no?
Well, what is your passive perception, Michael?
The exact same as Zewxip's, 14.
Okay, so what you see, Michael, is you see the plate that flew at you is now just floating off the ground like it is animated. Like it is like alive and trying to kill you. And you can see several other plates flying off the top of the stack and floating in the air, like they're also about to dive bomb you.
What happens if I try to grab said plate in front of me that's floating?
You totally could if you want.
Okay, does that count as a grapple, or is it just...
It would be one of your attacks, if you'd like to try and do that.
I don't know if...
I will say, they look like they're pretty fast, but you're also pretty strong, so...
Well, considering this room is small, I'm not going to attack at all. Sarge is. Sarge, Shadow Pulse.
Oh, God! Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh, boy, this is going to make things real funky. All right. A wave of necrotic energy shoots out from Sarge. What does Sarge want to choose? Because he can only pick things that he knows that exist.
Well, literally any dinner plate that is floating in the air is his target that he sees floating.
Okay, jeez. All right. So that's a Constitution saving throw?
Yeah.
From the 6 dinner plates.
Yeah, 21 necrotic or half on a success.
And what's the DC?
15.
15. Cool. So they have no bonus. They have to roll 15 or higher. Oh. I can't type for the life of me. Oof. All right. 2 of them succeed. And that actually doesn't smash those 2. Excuse me, even with the half damage. But you see 4 of the dinner plates that had flown up into the air shatter up into pieces. Obliterate. And actually, wait, there should have been 2 more. I realize it makes 2 more. Is it about? All right, so 3 of them don't get destroyed, but all the rest of them shatter into pieces as the wave from necrotic energy batters them. Alrighty. Is that your action to do that?
Yes, it is. My action to use Sarge's action. So.
Oh, that's pretty good. You smashed 5 of the animated dinner plates, which were about to swing down and slam into you. All right, so that's the end of your move, Michael?
Yes, it's the end of my turn, and I'm not moving at all, so...
Okay. As that happens, So, Zewxip, you're casting a spell. You're obviously casting a spell.
Well,
you know
I was holding my action to wait until there is no allies in the.
Okay, I think what happens here is actually probably Sarge. Sarge is standing there. He just casts this dark pulse, right? But you see a little red eye blink open under some of the filth, and then more beady little red eyes, and there seems to be dozens of them. And as they stare forward towards you, Michael, it's almost hypnotic. But for Sarge, it is hypnotic. And I'd like Sarge to roll me a wisdom saving throw, as this thing casts Dominate Monster upon him.
Oh no. Where is wisdom saving throw? Oh, here it is. I don't think it succeeds.
That is not going to succeed against this boy, unfortunately. As Sarge, his eyes kind of begin to spin and glow red. He is under the sway of these hidden foes, which then disappear back under the filth. Sword, it's your turn. Sword, what's your passive perception?
15.
You cannot quite see where whatever the little red eyes went under the pile of filth. You know the pile of filth they disappeared under, but you don't see them.
I think I have a way to get around this. As well as the other dinner plates.
Okay. Oh,
Spirit guard.
all right, you're casting a spirit guardians. Oh boy.
Little camel ninja spider moves.
Yeah, a bunch of. Oh, so yeah. What is the form of these spirit guardians as they fly around? Are they just your regular?
Just mini little ninja camel spider.
Beautiful. Just flying around gracefully, ready to strike at their enemies. All right. So that's your move, Sword. And do those affect all creatures or just creatures you can see?
Any
I think it is all.
I choose within a 15 foot radius.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, now because you know that the little red-eyed things exist, you can try and target them. So Taria, it's your move.
I think I'm going to disengage out of this room because there is not enough room for me to basically do anything, and I'm not going to even remotely trying to shoot an arrow into that pile of filth. So yep. I'm disengaging.
All right, you got a book, and well, okay. Are you trying to be careful moving through the filth in the other room?
Yes.
Okay, can you roll me an acrobatics check as you try not to step on anything too nasty? Oh yeah, no problem at all. At one point you land on like an old glass bottle, but you have a limber enough form that it doesn't like break, you just kind of balance on it, and it's like, whoa, and then you catch yourself and keep going. And yeah, so sorry, you have escaped over to Zewxip, who's like about halfway out. Because it is difficult terrain to move through the filth. All right. And is at the end of your turn, Sotaria?
I'm ending it.
All right. The plates. There are 3 plates remaining, but they are going to take some Spirit Guardian damage, right?
Does Sarge act on this turn because he has dominated monster?
No. He's going to act on your turn.
Okay.
Yep. So the plates, what do they have to roll for the Spirit Guardians?
They have to roll a DC 17 Wisdom.
Oh, well, that's a 4, a -3, 4. Oh, wait, there was only 3 of them. All right, they all fail, and they take 17 points of damage.
Yep. I think on top of the 10 they took before, I think that destroys.
That absolutely does, and only because of the 10 damage they took before are they destroyed. As your Spirit Guardians, the Camel Ninja Spider Mooses just, headbutt I guess they probably have a series of different techniques that they use to defeat these plates. Perhaps using their horns at times, perhaps using their hooves at others. But the 3 remaining plates are destroyed. All right. That's the end of their turn. Zewxip, we're on to you. You see that Michael and Sarge are still in the other room, as is Sword, actually.
Oh. Hold.
All right, you're just going to keep holding? If at any point you decide, you know what, I'm just going, let me know. All right, Michael, it's your turn. Sarge, his eyes glowing red, turn toward you and then turn directly past you, and you hear some like angry chittering sounds from the heat, and Sarge kind of turns slowly back toward you, Michael, but then turns away from you again, and it's like the things are trying to make him attack you, but he's just like, nope, and he's looking away.
He cannot harm me in any way.
But Sarge will walk past you to Sword. Would you like to take an attack of opportunity, Michael?
I'm not attacking my own pocket creature, no.
All right. What are Sarge's attacks?
Okay, so he has Rend, Headbutt, a Leer, which is basically a 60-foot scare, like fear effect, and Shadow Pulse, which he'll have to spend recharge.
He can't use any of the power. They can't use the PowerPoint abilities while they're controlling him like this. So he'll just use a Rend attack against Sword.
The Rend attack? Okay.
Yep.
I'll roll for that.
Sarge walks forward, his massive blade arms swing out at you, Sword. You see the eyes glow red. A 21 to hit. Will that connect with you, Sword?
Sword, are you there?
Sword, buddy?
I don't know if we lost Sword or not.
Discord's the in Discord tonight. We'll figure that out. But Michael, it's now your turn, now that Sarge has done his thing.
And sorry, no, it's 22.
Oh, hype. Excellent. So the blade arm swings out, and I imagine you just kind of step backward a little bit, it whiffing you. All right, now it's your turn, Michael.
So there's no plates, but can I go towards the debris?
Oh, there are still plates. There are definitely still plates.
Oh, well, crap. Is there any way I can walk towards where I thought I saw those glowing red eyes?
Oh, easily, yeah. And what's your past perception is, I'm sorry, 12 or something?
14.
14, unfortunately, you do not see them still. At least not passively.
Can I make a perception check to note to see where they could be?
You can, but it is your action to do so. Would you like to do that? Alternatively, you could just attack blindly and hope you hit them.
At disadvantage? Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to do that then, because I can attack twice.
Sure. So you can't see them, so you're swinging blindly just into the garbage with your glorious sword. First swing, doesn't connect, but you hear some horrible squeaks. But the second swing, you hear a squeak, a horrible squeak of pain as you connect with Verity. All right, nice rolls. 28 to hit. Oh my god.
17 plus 4 if it's chaotic.
It is unfortunately not chaotic. It is also resistant to your damage. As it is a swarm of little rats. You skewer one and pull up your blade, and you can see that this rat has like an exposed brain that kind of glows with red energy and pulses from its head, but it is now dead. You killed it. I need to roll a concentration check for the swarm, who managed to succeed. They're still concentrating on controlling Sarge, but you hit that swarm for a solid hit. Is there anything else that you would like to do?
Well, now that I hit them, would I know where they are?
Not quite still, because you don't see them very well. You're just stabbing into the garbage.
Yeah, I'll just end my turn there.
Okay.
And not before telling them, please don't hurt Sarge. Please don't hurt Sarge. Please try not to.
They will What are they going to do? Because it's the rats' turns. They're going to look at you, Sword. You see all these tiny little red eyes blink up. Oh, they got to actually roll damage, a save against your spirit guardians, don't they?
Yep.
Oh dear.
They shouldn't have exposed themselves.
Well, they succeed at least. So can you re-roll the damage because it's a new creature? It's actually a whole new round, and we'll see how much damage they take. If I remember correctly, you rolled actually pretty bad last time, so it's gonna be. 18. They succeeded. 18 succeeds on your save, right?
Yeah, they need to roll 17.
Cool. So they're only going to take 9 points of radiant damage. They scream in pain, and you see another one fry under the glaring vision of your spirit guardians. Ooh. So you see the swarm is considerably lower than it was a moment ago. It retains its concentration, however, upon Sarge, and it will look at you, Sword, and it will cast a. Oh no, I don't want to cast that spell. It will cast a spell at you, and you hear this tiny little squeaky chorus of voices in your mind that says, "Dance, dance." And I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw against their command. Okay, you can ignore their command. They're dumb rats. And now it's your turn, Sword. You see them scurry back under the garbage at the end of their turn, and I'll roll another thing for them. But you see them, hidden beneath the filth.
Let's see if I got something that'll, Huh?
Whose turn is it now?
It's Sword's turn currently.
Okay, I was actually Sword what you're gonna do.
Yeah, what's the move, Sword?
Sword?
You know, I think I'm gonna do something I know will guaranteed hit.
Okay. Ooh, Sacred Flame. Now, they could succeed on this save, which they don't. 7 points of damage. They are... Another one fries. There's not a lot of rats left. And Sarge is still under their thrall. All right. Anything else you'd like to do, Sword?
No, that'll be it.
Alrighty. Sotaria, your move.
I look over at Zewxip, who's apparently holding a spell. Guys, can you get out of there so maybe we can get rid of the rest of the whatever is crawling inside that massive pile?
I mean, I guess.
All right. Is that your turn, Sotaria?
Yep, because okay. I'm not going back in there.
And Zewxip, are you just keeping on?
Yeah, I mean, I'll still answer any questions that our dear Tedrelathir is asking, as I'm kind of like occasionally looking behind, seeing if the kitchen's full, and then going back to.
Yeah, and of course Ted says you can just call me Ted. By the way, all of the humans do that.
Oh, the humans call me Zewxip. It's good that we can share our human name.
Okay. He seems a little confused, but he's just kind of like peeking in around the corner of the kind of entryway, watching this weird battle happen. Michael, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
What does Sarge do first of all?
Oh, Sarge. Sarge does not attack Sword. Instead, Sarge walks over to the garbage heap and stabs it.
What?
Yep.
But he's under their control. I'm a little confused, but so this is a disadvantage, correct?
Yeah. Oh no, it's with advantage. It's an advantage attack.
Oh, it's with advantage?
Yeah, against the target he's going for.
Oh, it's 28 then.
Ah, excellent. You hear a cracking sound, and then you hear a low rumble, and you see the garbage heap shake.
Sarge, what did you do?
Sarge turns at you with blood-red eyes, and then shrugs.
Well, in that case, I'm going to stab it.
Okay.
Do I have it? Is it just normal for me, or?
Oh no, it's advantage.
Okay.
Okay. You stab twice.
For about.
Oh man.
For about 21 points.
Yeah. Is this a chaotic thing? It is chaotic. The thing you're attacking. So it's a total of 29 actually after that.
Yeah.
All right. You stab forward, and as you pull your sword out, it's dripping with like a green mucus, and you see lots of little like beetly, cockroachy bugs skitter out from the heap.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. All right. That's the end of your turn, Michael?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, guys,
Okay.
there's some really weird crap going on.
All right, well, and that happened, that is made evident right here. The heap explodes out in front of you. Garbage just goes everywhere. And what looks like a gargantuan cockroach monster appears out of the heap. It has these huge twisting mandibles that come out of its jaw, a couple of like little antennae, and a big beetleoid back. It attacks you, Michael.
Oh dear.
3 times, also from advantage. Because you didn't see it.
Well,
You just attacked blindly. It will make 3 attacks, 2 with its claws and 1 with its mandibles. So claw 1, claw 2, and then the mandibles. Oh man.
that's triple ow.
Yeah, it emerges from the heap and with a horrible chittering grab comes at you. And this is all of a sudden not quite as whimsical. It is now more frightening.
Luckily,
All right.
I'm still up, so.
Yeah, I mean, you just took a heap of damage from this horrible creature. The rats, on their turn.
And so did it.
That is fair, actually. Let me see. Let me roll its wisdom save. It saves, but it'll still take half that damage. Give me another 7 on him. This creature actually already looks pretty injured. Just from the attacks that have been made against it. The rats will take their charms and look at you again, Sword, and they will cast a spell of command at you again, and they will command you to stare. I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw again, which you can ignore their commands if you would so choose. There are only like 2 rats left. And Sword, it's now your turn. So what would you like to do at the start of your turn?
I'm gonna take the heat about getting out of there, but first I'm gonna take a swing at that roach creature.
So as you're looking forward at the roach creature to make your attack, I need you to roll me a charisma saving throw as its eyes stare into your very soul. And it just wigs you out. But it doesn't wig you out that much. Go ahead and take the rest of your turn. Nothing bad happens to you.
All right.
But it's like, oh man. That'll hit.
Oh, nice. And then I'll add on this and this.
Oh no! The square hammer got a 1!
It was going so good.
Sword, you bonk! You bonk the Umber Hulk with your square hammer for 4
I imagine
damage.
when you hit it, it sounds like a squeaky toy.
Yeah, it makes a squeaky toy sound. That never made that sound before, Sword.
Huh. Maybe I ought to have that looked at.
The creature
Hello.
makes a horrible
Hi.
chitter at you, and then you run. the Umber Hulk will make an attack of opportunity against you if you're going to run. You're running nothing.
I'm still getting that.
Oh, it misses. It whiffs as it goes to bite with your mandibles, seemingly off-put by the squeaking sound of your terrifying-looking hammer. Sotaria, it's your move. You can now see this horrible insectoid monster.
I look over at Ted over there, and I'm like,
you see him quivering. Oh my!
You have an infestation problem. I take out my bow. I take out messenger, and I shoot.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack. You know, Sotaria, I think you've been holding the shot right, and you've been like, you're around the corner. It doesn't necessarily know you're there. I'm going to give you the advantage attack on that one. So I'm going to give you the hit with a 19.
All right.
Go ahead, give me that damage.
And ooh.
Oh man.
Whoa.
A solid hit. Sometimes you just get those rolls. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Sotaria? Now that you see Sword has run over to you and Zewxip, it's just Michael and Sarge still in there with the creature.
I'm still basically saying, I seriously would get out of there.
Good call, Zewxip. What would you like to do?
Who all's left in the kitchen?
It's Sarge and Michael. And this Umber Hulk, and presumably more rats.
Well, I'm gonna hold.
All right. Michael, on your turn, Sarge is going to turn away and charge at Sotaria.
Sotaria, if Sarge attacks you, I'm sorry.
Sarge tries to stab you, Sotaria, with his blade arms. Can you roll me a rend attack?
That's an 18.
An 18, Sotaria. Does that catch you?
Yeah, that catches me. Damn.
16 slashing damage.
Yeesh.
As Michael's friendly companion, clearly controlled by a mental... actually, Sarge needs to roll a charisma saving throw at the start of his turn, I realize.
Actually, wait a minute. How can he... They haven't still... We're all out the kitchen. Aren't they still in the kitchen?
Yeah, he would have run out and charged at you. He just ran at you. But that being said, he needs to roll a charisma saving throw at the start of his turn because of the Umber Hulk. So it's possible that he just doesn't do anything.
Okay, so if this fails, then the attack counts. So.
Yeah, unfortunately.
He's free.
Yeah. Yep. So Sarge just stabbed you for 16 damage, Sotaria. And Sarge looks up at you with like an expression of, I'm so sorry. I don't want to do this, as he winds up for another swing next turn.
Okay.
Now it's your turn, Michael.
Okay, well, I will, since Sarge just used his action, I'm going to attempt to trip attack the roach.
Okay, the giant Umber Hulk.
Yep.
Alrighty, go ahead and make your attack.
So this
swing.
14 hit.
14's unfortunately going to miss. Now, I think you can use your combat maneuvers after you hit, so I don't think you have to call it ahead of time. So I don't think you've expended it. But go ahead, make your second attack against this boy.
21.
That will hit as you swing for a second attack. Okay. Oh, and I need you to roll me a charisma saving throw, Michael, actually, because you started your turn looking at the Umber Hulk. Okay, you also ignore the crazy vision of its eyes. All right, okay, so you slash it for 19.
Is it large? Is it bigger than large?
It is large.
Okay, so it needs to make a strength saving throw of about DC 8 plus 4 plus 4, so that's like 16. Yeah, DC 16 strength save or go prone.
All right, he is pretty strong. Yeah, unfortunately resisting the prone.
Okay. Then, wait, I have to roll. Wait, I just realized I have to roll the extra damage. I'm stupid. But,
okay. And then do you want to also run out of the room? There's no opportunity attacks this round because Sword already took one.
Oh, well, that's good. But before that, I'm going to
putting that extra damage.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to figure out what my it's D8s.
Yep.
Yeah, it's D8s. Okay. Let me just get the D8 and
bada boom.
Damage. Oh, I'm not done. I'm action searching.
Oh, sure.
Does 17 hit the creature?
17's gonna miss.
Okay. Now I leave the room.
All right. Michael swings at the Umber Hulk a couple of times and then whoop, runs out of the room with everyone else. And Zewxip, no one's in the room except the Umber Hulk and the rats.
Very good.
It's finally time. Oh boy, what?
It's time to summon a scrubbing bubble.
Pardon me?
I'm casting a watery sphere.
Oh no!
Disadvantage on the strength saving throw.
Okay, I love this.
Wait, they have disadvantage? Oh no.
Yep, so let me roll that disadvantage strength save for the Umber Hulk. That's a failure there. There are no more dinner plates. And the remaining cranium rats, do they also have disadvantage or no?
I guess that would be your call because it's one spell that would be affecting creatures. It's
your meta magic, right?
Just says when you cast a spell that forces a creature to make a saving throw to resist its effects. You can spend 3 sorcery points to give. Oh, it says 1 target.
Gotcha.
I'd rather prefer the big roach then, but I guess that's up to you if you want to.
No, you got him. I mean, the rats are really weak, so they all get caught up in the watery sphere.
Does that cause damage? What happens when they fail that?
Yeah, all the plates are also in the watery sphere. There's just a vortex of just all of the stuff that was in the kitchen is swirled up in this sphere of water.
They are restrained and engulfed by water.
Alrighty. Is there anything else you'd like to do with that, Maddie?
Well, so if that was a held action, I can't really do anything else until my turn comes back.
That's very true, actually. Okay, but they are captured within the scrubbing bubble. The rats are going to use Oh, they can't do that until Michael's turn. They are going to.
Sarge saved that though, right?
No, Sarge has not saved that yet. It's only when he takes damage that he does it, and he hasn't taken any damage.
Oh.
Oh, the rats are not within your spirit guardians anymore because you moved out. What are they gonna do?
They're fine.
They will command, and Zewxip, I'm sorry, they're gonna target you. I know you just cast the scrubby bubble, but they're gonna try and command you to release the scrubby bubbles. I think. Can they do this? Oh,
it has to be
sorry.
a one-word command.
They don't have. Yeah, they can't do it any longer because they don't have enough rats to cast the spell. They are gonna just to try to escape the restraints. How do they do that?
So that is going to be at the end of each of their turns. A restrained target can repeat a saving.
Oof. All right.
So they need a 16 strength or better.
They are squeaked. The Umber Hulk is going to attempt to escape. Failing. Man, rough round for the Umber Hulk and the rats. Sword, it's your move. You see the Umber Hulk and rats all caught up in this heap of water with all the other garbage and everything from the kitchen. What would you like to do? Look at the 10-foot diameter bubble of water. My God.
So I could technically just step back in range and let the spirit guardians work.
Do you want to do that?
Maybe I should have had them come in the form of scrub brushes or something.
I should ask, do you want to? Would you like to avert your eyes from the Umber Hulk, or do you want to look right at him? Because you know he's got these weird brain warpy eyes. I assume you just kind of ignore him.
If he's caught up in the vortex, how is he looking directly at me?
It's more of you looking at him. that's the problem. You get the idea that it's not the Umber Hulk doing something necessarily. Well, it is the Umber Hulk doing something to you.
You know, I'll just close my eyes and step forward and
let the Spirit Guardians do their work.
You know.
Cool. All right, so Sotaria, it's your move. The Umber Hulk is being swirled around in this bubble, like laundry in a machine. What would you like to do?
Okay, I am going to shoot at that thing again.
Alrighty.
Wow.
Now, it's restrained, so you do have advantage on the attack.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the 17 normally wouldn't hit it. I don't know if you've got any juice that would add to that. Armor
Nope.
class is a little tougher. Yeah.
Nope.
Unfortunately, a shot and your arrow gets caught up in the swirling water along with the Umber Hulk. You were going for the Umber Hulk, right? Not the rats?
I was going for the Umber Hulk. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Sotaria?
Where are the rats? They're in the bubble too, right?
Yeah, they're spinning around in the bubble of water, having a hard time.
Nah.
Okay.
I'll just let everyone else handle this.
Okay. Zewxip, your bubble seems to be doing its job. The rats and Umber Hulk are still restrained within it.
Okay. I will continue concentrating.
Okay.
And
I'm assuming that's your turn.
I think you can do some cool stuff with it, right?
I can move it, yeah.
You want to just move it right out the door and
move it 30 feet?
Dump them all, just lower the whole thing into the pit.
I mean, I made a 20-foot pit, so
I mean, I haven't Zewxip.
I'm going to spend my action to guide it through the schmutz.
Okay.
And to bring it over towards the pit. I don't know how far away the pit is, but I can move it as an action 30.
So yeah, you can get it right over, right through the whole thing to the pit and just dump it in.
Okay, I want to keep them in the I'm going to sink it into the pit, but I want to keep the bubble going. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay. So the bubble is now just swirling around at the bottom of the pit outside.
Yeah.
So all of you see this bubble like roll past you, the Umber Hulk and the rats swirling around inside, and almost like a bowling ball, right? It goes right down the middle. It clears a nice little path through the den, out the front door, and just down into the pit.
I would like to do something on my turn since it's
your turn now, Michael. Yep.
I'm going to go over to the pit.
Sarge is, by the way, free now.
Yep, I know.
Yep.
I'm just gonna have Sarge follow me, but I don't want him to do anything.
Sure.
I'm going to cast Justice.
Oh God!
Down the pit.
You're just gonna laser beam the pit.
No, I'm gonna straight beam that pit at level 8 and give it a good disinfectant.
Yeah, and I imagine, right, Sarge goes over and picks up Sword's like barrel of acid and like DC just looks 15. At you, Sword, like, should I do it?
DC 15 charisma save or 50.
I nod in contentment.
Sarge pours the acid in, the Umber Hulk and everything, and for a moment the swirling water becomes filled with suds and bubbles, and then you point your blade down at them, Michael, and utter the sacred vows of the king of Miradara. Yep, and the light blasts down at them. They're probably absolutely screwed. Yeah.
Oh, I make sure the rats live because they're just a poor rat.
But the rat is also going to prison.
Yeah, but they won't be in prison for long. They'll be.
They might be able to. Oh no, the rat succeeds, which is even worse for it.
But they still take half damage. So.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. That's what's bad for the rats. Your laser blast strikes them. The Umber Hulk disappears in a flash, and all of the plates and things swirling around inside the water are squeaky clean, as the tension seems to dull for a moment. The sound of the buzzing insects, of all the flies are gone.
That huge light show in that pit for a brief moment.
Exactly. And Tedrelathir looks at you all. You've done an excellent job. Well done. Now I can return to my kitchen and begin cooking anew with the valuable lessons that you have taught me, friend Zewxip.
You can still live a lazy life if you trust nature.
Okay. Dude, just ask your parents for a maid.
Well, actually, this was some of the last money I had hiring you.
Well,
I'm kind of, what do they say, at the limit.
Well, we can always help teach you how to properly clean and keep and keep a good kept home.
Well,
Sotaria throws her hands up and is like, "You guys do that. I'm gone. Bye."
Wait, you're Bartholomew Bucks.
Yeah, I'll take that.
You just walk back over, grab the $300 and walk away.
Actually, no. Actually, I take that. Can I pickpocket him?
Yeah, you can try. You want to roll me a sleight of hand check? Yeah. You pick his pocket.
He had any good in it? He probably didn't.
Looking inside, there's like a loyalty card for like a fast food restaurant. There's a couple of gold pieces. Yeah, just some pocket change in that loyalty card. It's got 8 out of the 10 little things cut into it, so it's almost there.
I leave everything. I'm gone.
Drop it on the ground. Excellent. And so now as you take off and he pays out everybody their 300 Bartholomew bucks each, he turns to us and says, "Well, if you all, I guess make yourselves at, maybe we should schedule another day, friend Zewxip. I have more adventurers coming to deal with the other rooms of the apartment, of the glade."
Another day.
You're gonna need
have a
this.
fresh garden bed ready to go. Though there is one thing that you should be responsible for until I can return. I'm gonna rip off one of my arms and hand it to him.
That's horrifying.
It's okay. I need you to put that in the dirt, please. You have to do it.
Yes, then you can grow your own Zewxip.
You can grow your own Zewxip to help.
That sounds incredibly good. And he tosses it just into the dirt. Like that.
No.
He still has much to learn.
What were you saying, Sword?
Yeah, saying you're gonna need this, and I just pull over a few more barrels so that
Where is this all coming from? You conjured so much of it so quickly.
Well, it just, I mean, most of it's diluted with water. I mean, you don't want to like have the concentrated stuff touch.
I suppose that's fair. Well, thank you all for your assistance. And with that, you all have completed this bizarre adventure. You, as I said before, you've all earned your respective Bartholomew bucks and your 2 points of experience, as is allotted to 2 mythic adventurers. And congrats, guys! Thank you very much for playing.
Yep.
Thank you.
We're gonna be right back, guys.
Holy crap, baskets! It's only been an hour and a half.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would anyone like to shop real quick?
I would.
I think I'm good for now.
All right, we're gonna make it real quick then. You run to the shop very quickly, Sword. What do you like?
I'd like to do a bag.
Ah, wonderful. Bartholomew grumbles. All right, please give me your money. And what do you get as you roll your D1000? Another one in such a short time. Bartholomew.
Holy crap!
Bartholomew goes. 900. That's very, very high. Very well. Let's see what we can find. And he reaches into the bag and he starts fiddling. And sorry, you reach into the bag and you start fiddling. And what? So as your hand reaches into the, now my brain is just all frazzled that you caught me off guard with that. As you reach into the bag, your hands pass over a variety of magical items. At first, your hand falls upon what appears to be a metal helmet of some kind. You consider it, but no, you keep reaching. Secondly, your hand touches, interesting, a candle. That could be potentially very helpful. But, no, maybe there's something else that would be more befitting. And finally, your hand lands on a book. And as you pull it from the bag, Bartholomew looks at it and goes, oh, it's that. You know, Sword, you don't actually need to use that. You can just put it back. It only regains its power every 100 years, you know. If you use it now, I won't be able to do anything with it again for a very long time. He kind of looks anxiously. It is a manual of bodily health. This book contains health and diet tips, and its words are charged with arcane magics. If you spend 48 hours over a period of 6 days or fewer studying the book's contents and practicing its guidelines, your Constitution score permanently increases by 2, as does your maximum for that score, and then the manual loses its magic for 1 century. This is you can just boost your stats item. And Bartholomew goes, you know, if you don't want that one, you can always put it back. It's always fine. No?
Sword?
Well, Sword, I can see that you are speechless.
Sword,
Congratulations.
Sword, you're deafened and muted. Did you even hear what Jeremy said?
Well, we'll be right back with more Pete and Jeremy's DnDTime. Stay tuned!